What's up, vaping fellas? Today we are going to talk about cyclonic airflow. So, something like this. You will notice a slight change in angle, and there is a reason for that. I had to work really hard for my university and for different things in the recent times, so I haven't been cleaning my desks. I haven't been cleaning it at all. It's a horrible mess, but I basically pushed everything to the side so you won't see it in frame, and then turned the camera. In a few weeks everything will be normal. We'll be back to normal, obviously. But today we're going to talk about cyclonic airflow, and there's a reason for that. And because I think there are so many myths with cyclonic airflow versus just normal slot airflow, just like this, or circular airflow, just like this. That there are so many myths out there, so I thought I maybe clear up a little bit. Okay, so at first, I think I can't vape this because this is for a serious mod. Oh, and by the way, I've been gone for so long, so yeah, guys, just don't be angry at me for that. I've been gone for a really long time, but I am back now, and I think that's what's important. I might make a vlog on why I was gone, because I had an exam which I ended up not writing, but well, different story. So let's talk about cyclonic airflow. So when we're talking about cyclonic airflow, we need to first clear up the terms, because cyclonic airflow is supposed to be working like basically it's supposed to light. I've done no videos for so long that I forget all my things. It's supposed to be creating a kind of tornado style cyclone inside here. So the air basically rotates and then gets pulled up, and that means that there is no vapor left on anywhere in the atomizer, because it all gets cleared up through the cyclone and gets sucked up. Another thing is that this is basically built for cloud chasing, because you are getting more air on your coils just much more evenly, and that makes it easier to have high wattage builds in here and chuck ridiculous clouds, because your coils aren't overheating, you have enough air in there. Now, does it work? I got to say, I'm pretty impressed with the atomizer, and this is the Wotofo Troll, by the way, if you haven't seen my review on it. The Wotofo Troll is one of these cloud chasing atomizers, and I have a quad coil built in here, so I can prove to you that the cyclone effect, at least in this atomizer, does work. But as I said, we need to clear terms. So what does an airflow need to have the cyclonic effect? Well, the first thing and the biggest thing is that you need airflow in a 45-degree angle. Now this is a little bit less than 45-degree angle. I've measured it, but it works pretty fine. Something like the mutation XV4, where you have a 30-degree angle, will not work, because there's just not enough spin to the cyclone. And how that works is, I'm going to explain it in just a few seconds. It's quite easy if you get your head wrapped around it, and you need to picture it in your mind, otherwise you won't understand it. So, next thing we have is our top cap, or yeah, just like this. No, that's not a top cap, it's basically this airflow chamber, and you can close off the airflow from both sides, and as you can see, it closes them off at a 45-degree angle as well. I don't know if you can see that, it's quite hard to see maybe, I don't know. So we need to have an airflow which is at 45-degree angle. It does not make any difference if it is a slot just like this, or if it is just dots or holes lined up in a 45-degree angle. It really doesn't play any role, but it needs to be at a 45-degree angle if you shut it off. Because if you would just shut it off with a metal bar just like this, okay? So if you think about getting just a bar behind this, okay, it's not going to work, it's not going to maintain the 45-degree angle shape, and that's what we need for the Cyclone. So, in my opinion, these slots are working a little bit better than the holes on most atomizers. And why that is, I'm going to tell you in a second. It's all really physical. It's not something that's just made up. It's really physical. Whether it works, I can't say there is a difference, but I can't say if it really creates the Cyclone because I can't, you know, put colored air through it or something. But if you think about it, what happens right here is that you have a stream of air, just like this, okay, coming in at a 45-degree angle. And now what happens is, because you're sucking on the top right here, okay, you are right here. You are pulling air up. So the first thing that this thing is going to do is going to move up. But as you can see, if you close off the airflow, it's going to be at the side a little bit. So, and you should do that always to the side. I'm having it in the middle because I want the Cyclone forming around all 4 of my coils, not just 2. But if you put it to, you should put it to the side, and there's a reason for that as well. Because if there's a stream coming in from the side, okay, and you are sucking on it, not here, but here, it's going to move like this. And because it's really fast going in here, it's not going to go just like this. It's not going to go diagonally up. It's going to go behind it and then spin. Okay? And why it's going to spin? Well, basically because it is going along the rounded walls. So you have your wall, which is rounded here, and you have your airflow, which is coming in here, going up, spiraling. Okay, that's the thing. It's just like doing a tornado, a wave tornado on your desk. You are basically putting it forward and then pulling it up. So you're creating a cyclonic thing, which is spinning and swirling, and then you're pulling it up. Okay, that is what you are doing inside this atomizer. Now, does it work? On a 45-degree angle, just using slots, it definitely has a difference. Because if you have this right here, okay, let me just quickly pull this apart and I can show you. By the way, I've cleaned my mod and worked a little bit on my top cap right here, which is now stainless steel because I pulled off the paint. So, if you have your slots, just like this, now usually they are a little bit lower, but I like them that way. I just like them that way. So, if you look at this, okay, now this is quite a bad build because this is built for 200 watts and I made it quite low, so the air would go over it and pull the vapor up, but leave the coil as it is. But if you look at it, let's say you would build your coils normally, so just in line with the screws right here, okay? If you put your slot on here, and I am sinking this atomizer, these things are so massive so you can see them, okay? There would be the coil right behind that. So what would happen is the airflow is coming in, going onto your coil, cooling them down and going straight up. Now obviously the air, if that would be completely 100% perfect, okay, the air around the coil wouldn't move because it will just go in and up. Now, because this is air and not water and we are having pretty distinctive laws of physics, there is always going to be some movement, but not a lot. It's not as much as if you would use this motherfucker right here. This is a badass bitch. It's just nice. It works really well. And using the 45-degree angle slots, I don't know who came up with it, but it's genius. It's just genius. In terms of aerodynamics, this is the maximum amount of airflow that you can get, theoretically, because of the fact that you are filling this whole chamber right here with air and pulling it up into your mouth. Now, there is obviously a thing with this. Now, if you close down the airflow, you can get it down to quite low airflow. Okay, you can get it down to quite low airflow, but you're always going to have this kind of movement everywhere in your chamber. And if you're somebody who's not vaping like a ridiculous 200 watts, okay, you are not going to like it, because there will be way too much air for you. Now, I have closed down this to 1.5 slots. Let's look at it first. Now you can see that my vapor is quite dense and thick. And that's because this is 114 watts or something, so it's working quite good. If I pull this, you're off. And everything is open. Let's look at it. You can see it's still dense, but it's light. There's quite a lot of air in there. So, the requirement for your coil to fit this kind of airflow is that you need to have a coil which is wildly producing vapor and filling up the whole chamber so you can suck it empty. If you are a typical style of vapor and you're vaping like 20, 30 watts, 40 watts, 50 watts, something in this region, okay? Basically, if you're Professor Vapes. Then this stuff will not be the right thing for you. It's just not, because you're getting too much air for your vapor, and you will cool down your coils way too much, so they won't produce as much vapor as on other devices. And even if you close it down, yes, okay, but it won't work, because there is too much airflow. But if you are somebody like me and you want to use a lot of vapor and you want to have a lot of air because you're having that hot builds, this thing is golden. It really is. It's just perfect. Now you can see this, that's not much. I mean, let me calculate how much watt it is. I think it's like 114 or less. So this is 160 watts. I mean, for 160 watts the cloud production is quite good, although it's not ideal because this battery isn't completely charged. And this build right here, I don't know whether you can see that, it's all black and gunky. That's old. I mean, that's really old. I really need to rebuild that, but I don't really get the right wire. I think I only got like few centimeters of 21 gauge, so I think I have to work something out of that. But it's not a lot, and well, I have to make something. Now, there is another thing that a lot of people say against the cyclonic airflow, and that is that you have your posts and coils in the middle. So if there is a post in the middle, why would there air being spiraling? I mean, if you think about it, the only way air could spiral in there is just above your post. So my posts end about here. So there, that's a space where air would spiral. And after that it's just going into your mouth. And there it won't spiral. And although I say that is right, I say it's wrong at the same time. Because if you have a build like this, damn it. Okay, so this is a quad coil build. So you can see the coils are in between center post and negative post. Now let's look at this dual coil build I made. Given that we are having a triple post system, okay, so the posts aren't really big. Look at where the coils are. If I would have a cyclonic airflow system, the cyclone would form right here, go past this, hit the wall, turn around, go here, hit the wall and turn around. So there would be air circulating. And if I build a dual coil build on my troll, I am recognizing that I have way more of the cyclonic feel. There is a specific feel to it where you can feel it kind of rotating in the chamber. Now that might sound weird, and it is weird, but it definitely has a distinctive feel. And if I'm having a dual coil setup, I'm noticing much more of this feel. So, you know, I have used this for incredibly long time, okay? This is a Doge 26650. So what do I think? Was it right to switch to this? Well, as I said before, I think this atomizer is a beast. And in terms of airflow, I have to say it's really cool. It doesn't have this kind of narrowed down option where you say, okay, that's maybe good for 80 watts, for 50 watts, okay? It doesn't have this option. But with this kind of airflow, okay, where you have a lot of airflow for cloud chasing, it's just optimal. It's like the best thing. And I'm basically sitting in my own vapor. It's quite cool, okay? I have to rebuild this. I haven't made a tutorial for the quad coil build yet, if I'm right. So that is coming as soon as I get new wire in and new cotton in. So let's wrap it up right here. Would I recommend you buying an atomizer with a 45-degree angle? Yes, I would, if you need the airflow. If you have an airflow just like this, you're saying I'm fine with it, it's okay. You don't need anything else. You really don't. And there's another thing, you're sacrificing a little bit of flavor with the cyclonic airflow because you're mixing so much air in there. Okay? Basically the air, the fresh air is getting mixed everywhere. Where on a atomizer just like this, let's put this back on. Just not all the way down. Oh shit, that's all the way down. Okay, just where on an atomizer just like this, you're not mixing as much air in there. You won't. It's just the way it works. So I recommend this thing for every cloud chaser, not for flavor chasers, not for everyday vapors. And from that, I got nothing much more to say except for, if you liked it, please like it, comment, what do you think of 45-degree angle cyclonic airflow? Have you experienced it? Do you like it? And if you would subscribe, that would be great and make my day. Thank you for watching.